The realities of climate change can be daunting, yet I remain optimistic. What gives me hope is seeing all of the amazingly talented people addressing the challenges facing us. Our accelerator invests in technology entrepreneurs building businesses where the business model and the impact model are intrinsically linked. When the startup scales, so does the impact. 3 months ago, we began program in Boulder, Colorado in person. In the last 2 months, we've been fully virtual. You're about to see an amazing group of founders addressing climate change in ways that are aligned with the Nature Conservancy's shared conservation mission.
For the last 4 years, the Nature Conservancy has partnered with Techstars to demonstrate what happens when the world's best problem-solving entrepreneurs bring technology solutions to create the sustainable world we know is possible.
Since this accelerator started, climate tech and innovation has become one of the fastest growing spaces in the startup and investing world. And with that growth comes the responsibility to ensure that this popularity in climate literacy across entrepreneurs, across startups, across the finance sector, and across the biggest companies in the world remains rooted to the real environmental and climate impacts that we need to make as a society.
Our program has always focused on the idea that we need to build a world where people and nature can thrive together. We're proud of the mission of this program, and we're especially proud of the work our entrepreneurs have done for climate and sustainability.
It's my honor to introduce you to 10 companies working to address climate change at the intersection of technology and nature. This is an amazing group of passionate, impact-driven entrepreneurs.
Welcome to the 2021 Techstars Sustainability Accelerator Demo Day.
Okay, one more.
Joining us from Denver, Colorado, please welcome Lizzie, CEO of Finch.
We all have that family member, the guilt tripper, who reminds you every time she leaves your bathroom that 15 million trees go down America's toilets each year due to your choice in conventional toilet paper. It's time for you to become more informed. Searching the internet yields a ton of results, including a 270-page academic study that you don't have the time nor the energy to read. Another option is Suburban Sarah's blog, who recommends a bamboo recycled toilet paper. Turns out she's being paid by that company. Her credentials are, and I quote, from the School of Hard Knocks, and the toilet paper feels exactly like sandpaper. Ouch. You're stuck, but you're not alone. 65% of consumers want to make better purchasing decisions, but only 26% end up doing so because it's inconvenient and they're not sure how. Finch decodes these products' environmental impacts and encourages consumers to make better purchasing decisions. Using thousands of data points and a variety of trusted resources, we've rated over 80 categories and 70,000 products. Here, you download the extension onto Chrome and you see any product score based on what it's made of, how it's used, and how long it lasts. We are the right team to do this. I have been determined to find sustainability solutions in the consumer space for the past 15 years, informed by my experience at Unilever on their supply chain team and on their sustainability team, and at Yale getting my MBA and Master in Environmental Management. Jane comes from Parachute, an extremely successful direct-to-consumer company where she understood firsthand the challenges with getting user-facing data to inform better business decisions. Mark recently finished his postdoc at Princeton University in climate research and environmental engineering. Remember that academic study I alluded to earlier? Mark probably wrote it, and he agrees it's kind of tough to get through. Finally, John has decades of experience in software development, and he's making sure that we have a technical, robust solution. We generate revenue by providing data to corporations via a license or data integration API. Companies are hoping to better understand the impacts at scale and how consumers are reacting to sustainability marketed products. Between sustainability consulting, product insights, and market research, this is an $11 billion opportunity. Finch has the ability to tap 65% of the population who are looking for the same solution to sustainability that NerdWallet solved for personal finance. And right now that doesn't exist, and Finch is so excited to take that space. We've built trust with over 2,000 early adopters through organic community building. We're currently in conversations with 3 Fortune 500 companies. We have the financial support of the co-founder of Honey, a browser extension with over 10 million monthly active users, and have been featured in Apartment Therapy, Katie Couric Media, and Fast Company, to name a few. If every household in the United States replaced their conventional toilet paper with recycled, we would save 423,000 trees today. Think of the possibilities. Head to choosefinch.com and let us do the heavy lifting so that you don't have to.
Joining us from Paris, France, please welcome Manuela, CEO of Climatescape.
We are the climate generation. Me, you, and everyone worried about the climate crisis. We are eating less meat, driving EVs, and composting. But to reach net zero targets, we need a lot more. $100 trillion must be invested in climate over the next 30 years, 13 times more than today. This is not only a necessity, but also the largest wealth creation opportunity any of us have seen. The climate tech sector will produce 1,000 unicorns in the coming decades. Yet, the upsides are mostly limited to a privileged few. My name is Manuela. I'm CEO at Climatescape, the investment platform for the climate generation. We give everyone a chance to own a piece of the world's most promising climate startups. Anyone can download our app, set personal investment and impact goals, receive a notification with opportunities that match them, learn about companies and technologies, see who else is participating in the deal, and invest what's right for you. Over time, you build a diverse portfolio of companies that benefit people and planet. Our service is free for investors. We charge a percentage fee of the capital raised and take stakes from companies in our platform. No more investing alone and being overwhelmed by hundreds of ESG funds and crowdfunding websites with questionable impact. With Climatescape, you become part of a community and can easily invest in solutions verified by experts and aligned with your values. We give you ownership of a sustainable future. You can help companies improve their impact, build their brand, hire, attract clients, and become a successful investment for you and the planet. We scout leading climate startups and enable them to raise up to $5 million from their stakeholders in our community, which will grow through high-quality content, referrals, and targeted marketing. We already built a directory with 2,000 climate tech startups and 300 community users. Next year, we'll launch our investment app, then expand to Europe and enable secondary market transactions, bringing liquidity to our investors. In the future, companies that raise with Climatescape will mature and go public. We will be well positioned to go beyond private securities and tap into the trillion-dollar retirement market. Me and my co-founder are experts in climate tech. I led a climate tech market intelligence firm, and my book, The Frontiers of Impact Tech, is a landmark publication in this space, based on contributions from 500 leaders from over 30 countries. Brandon spent over 10 years helping startups build world-class software, and he led the world's most comprehensive open directory in climate tech. Since 2020, we are in a new era for retail investing, with millions of new users investing for the first time in public companies or digital assets. Now, 3 out of 4 millennials want to invest with a positive impact. This year, climate tech attracted $32 billion in venture capital, growing 5 times faster than the rest of the market. In the next 10 years, the world's biggest companies will be climate companies. If you want to invest in a sustainable future and help shape it, join us at Climatescape.
Throughout time, farmers have had the difficult task of growing enough food to feed a rapidly growing population. It's estimated we'll have another billion people to feed by 2030. As this demand for food continues to grow, our lands are stretched to their limits. Erosion, tillage, and overgrazing degrade the productivity of farms and rangelands. Agriculture expansion threatens native habitats, and climate change increases extreme events that threaten crop yields. It's clear we must find solutions that not only increase food production, but also sustain the health of our communities, our land, and our water. Entire ecosystems are at stake, and one critical solution lies right under our feet. Healthy soil is nutrient-rich, holds more water, and supports crop productivity. It is a natural solution to remove carbon from the atmosphere and store it in the ground. With farming and ranching occurring on roughly 40% of land around the world, what if our agriculture systems built the health of our soils instead of degrading them? If we focus on improving and revitalizing soil health, we can leverage the natural biodiversity to improve and sustain farmland's vigor and productivity, while maximizing the soil's potential to sequester carbon and support resilient and profitable growing conditions for farmers. With a change in mindset, there's a global opportunity to support more innovation in soil health. With broad access to better practices and financial incentives, farmers can and will lead the way to a more sustainable future.
Joining us from Lagos, Nigeria, please welcome Aisha, CEO of Farms to You.
Hi, my name is aisha.raheem, CEO and co-founder of Farms to You. In the next 4 decades, we have to produce the same amount of food as we did in the last 800 decades. Now that's a huge jump. To meet this increased need for food production, Farms to You helps smallholder farmers operate at commercial scale, with a focus on sub-Saharan Africa. After all, Africa has 60% of the world's arable land. Smallholder farmers contribute significantly to local production, however, are faced with many challenges because of their size. For instance, how to fund their farm. Smallholder farmers often struggle to access traditional finance from banks, or sell their harvested produce to large-scale buyers such as AB InBev. This is where Farms to You comes in. We provide farmers with training on what to grow and how, based on data points like where their farm is located or what the soil composition is. And through our platform, smallholder farmers can get a loan, buy high-quality inputs, and sell their harvested produce to large-scale buyers. So that smallholder farmer that couldn't sell to a buyer like AB InBev alone can now do that with Farms to You. And the market in which we are operating in is growing. And the team building Farms to You is representative of our target users, an emerging youth population going into farming. This is evident by our user groups in Nigeria and Kenya, where more than 60% of our users are between the ages of 18 and 35. As a team, we understand what makes farming unprofitable and unappealing, and we address this for our users. And you might be wondering why we have our thumbs up. That's because we call ourselves Farms to You hitchhikers. We're hitching a ride to Farms to You's success, a path defined by our individual intrinsic values. Mine is making the food system more sustainable and nutritious. And we're guided on this journey by experienced advisors. Of the 6,150 users we have to date, most of whom were onboarded on our training platform, providing farmers with information on what to grow and how, we're scaling our offering to now provide our users with loans, as well as facilitate input transactions and offtake trades. And with partnerships with institutions such as Harvest Plus, a leading input provider, and pilot conversations with AB InBev, we seek to scale our revenue streams. We make money and thus revenue by charging commissions on each of these two transactions. To ensure a food secure future, smallholder farmers in sub-Saharan Africa have a huge role to play. So if this is a problem that resonates with you, we want to hear from you. Thank you.
Joining us from San Diego, California, please welcome Carlos, CEO of Benchmark Labs.
Hello, I'm Dr. Carlos Gaitan, CEO of Benchmark Labs, and I'm here to introduce our hyperlocal forecasting technology, a $30 billion opportunity. Weather affects all of us, but can make or break a business in the agricultural sector. Effectively managing pest, frost, heat, labor, and water are dependent on highly accurate weather forecasts. However, the same unreliable approach to weather forecasting has been used for the last 80 years. National weather services divide the globe in big boxes, and everybody inside a box receives exactly the same forecast. This is a non-local approach. But in reality, if you look inside of the boxes, they aggregate a variety of microclimates. For example, here we have 2 farms in the wine region of Portugal. As you can see, there are changes in elevation, land cover, and water availability, all leading to special microclimates and different farm management practices. Nevertheless, they receive exactly the same forecast for the different microclimates. We are the first and only solution to provide true hyperlocal forecasting. Our technology reduces the forecasting errors from the National Weather Service up to 60%. We do this by integrating third-party hardware and data with our proprietary technology to provide field-specific reports via mobile, web, and our API. Our web and mobile apps show real-time forecasts and information and alerts of all the relevant environmental variables for farm managers. Our significant improvement in forecast accuracy leads to more accurate labor and irrigation management, better pest control, and better frost prevention. We offer a software-as-a-service solution targeting initially specialty crops and high-value land managers. And our customers and channel partners love us. In this particular case, Benchmark Labs helped them reduce applied water by 25%, along with the associated pumping costs. And we enable the creation of new product faster too. We have farm managers and high-value land managers paying for our solutions. And we just signed a partnership agreement with an insurance marketplace and with hardware manufacturers to supplement our revenue streams. Our technology has also been funded by the National Science Foundation and NASA. We are aware that this opportunity is bigger than specialty crops. When you include energy, insurance, and land management, it is a $30 billion opportunity. We have more than 15 years of experience in environmental forecasting, hardware, analytics, and consulting in both the public and private sectors. And our diverse team is motivated and determined to bring the best service and forecast to the world. Every farm is different. Every field is different. Your farm, your field, your forecast. Benchmark Labs.
Joining us from Austin, Texas, please welcome Roman, CEO of Gardenio.
Growing your own food is kind of magic, pulling a sprig of rosemary from a bush, tomato from a vine. Something deeply human about it, and if you felt that way, you wouldn't be alone. The lawn and garden market is at a $52 billion all-time high, double what it was a decade ago, and 80% of new food growers are between the ages of 18 and 34. That's where the market energy is. But for something we've done for 20,000 years, it's kind of weirdly difficult to grow food at home, right? The information is spread among the few, fragmented between unreliable forums, dense literature, and just hearsay. So people get frustrated, they fail, and then they fall out of the market, which means we miss an opportunity not just for stronger market retention, but also because we know that gardening is a gateway to things like composting and rain saving, we miss the opportunity for sustainability, advocacy, and education through the power of plants. My name is Roman Gonzalez, and I'm the founder and CEO of Gardenio, a new kind of garden club membership for new food growers. You can think of us as building the world's largest digital community garden. Now, let's say you want to grow food. You're garden curious, as one might say. You join Gardenio as a member, tell us a little bit about yourself, your grow space, and we'll tell you not just what's good to grow right now on your balcony or in your yard, but also we'll help you grow it by sending you proactive advice over time relevant to you, sourced from good science and good local on-the-ground knowledge. The more members of Gardenio, the smarter Gardenio gets. You'll have access to tools to identify and address issues in the garden, and be connected to a community of other growers in your area for celebration and support. That looks like a group for queer gardeners, a masterclass in the Blueberry Queen of Colorado, a place to swap seeds, trade harvests, and find a plant sitter for your next vacation. Gardening is a laundry list of questions. Gardenio answers them. Now, before Techstars, we ran a year-long experiment sending people physical goods like containers and plants, along with helping them one-to-one in our mobile app. We acquired over 250 members at a 55% overall retention rate and rave reviews, and what we learned is that more than anything, our members wanted to see more robust post-purchase digital support, where we are now laser-focused as we plan to relaunch in spring 2022 with over 800 folks on our waitlist. Now, we run off a paid membership model, $5 a month, less than lots of bags of spendy tomatoes out there, for access to our proactive tech, tools, and content. And to be a gardener is just to run into issues along the way. Our tools unobtrusively connect gardeners to the products and services they need to be successful. So we'll also monetize with an in-app marketplace. Now, for my part, I'm a gardener. I'm a former political organizer. And for the last 10 years, I've worked with startups in growth, product design, and brand. Building products, teams, and communities is just what I do. Now, we are backed by executives from Twitter and Literati, advised by alumni of Airbnb and Yelp, and mentored by some of the most successful consumer tech startups out there. Now, we are empowering a generation of lifelong food growers to reconnect to their food, their neighbors, and themselves. And you can sign up at growgardenio.com for our waitlist today. And with Gardenio, you don't have to grow it alone.
Hello, I'm Valentina and I am 8 years old, and this is my grandpa.
Nature matters to me because
being outdoors expands the soul.
I love the trees and the fruit.
I love to ski because it's super fun to ski, and I race my mom down the slopes a lot.
Lately I'm seeing more storms, they're more severe. The flooding that goes on, fires, and I'm just worried about all the severe events that are happening in the world.
I was very worried about the Amazon forest burning, California fires burning, the hurricanes along the coast.
My hopes are that everything will go back to normal, but not past normal. Like, don't want to start an ice age again.
We can clean up the environment if we work at it and show some discipline and put some resources into it.
Stop burning fossil fuels and stop cutting trees down and stop throwing trash in the ocean.
When Ingram grows up, that there's still nature and beauty for him to see, and that future generations get to enjoy the planet as much as I have.
Joining us from Denver, Colorado, please welcome Mike, CEO of Aclymate.
On a dark night, this is the first thing you see from your cockpit when approaching an aircraft carrier: a single light. You're scared and things happen fast, but you stay focused because the ship can't get back on course until everyone safely lands. You have to rely upon your training, your instruments, and your team to get the job done. Hi, my name is Mike Smith. I lived this experience as an F-18 pilot in the U.S. Navy for 12 years. Though I had a great career, I wanted to do more. I left the Navy to become a carbon market expert, and in the process, developed the largest carbon reforestation project in U.S. history. Now, I'm proud to be leading an incredible team of serial entrepreneurs and technologists at Aclymate, where we steer small businesses through humanity's greatest challenge, climate change. These are turbulent times. Small businesses are being thrust by a rising climate generation to show actions on emissions reductions, but they feel lost without the experience or the guidance they need amidst a sea of carbon accounting tools. At Aclymate, our team of climate navigators provides our customers the direction and the instruments they need to pilot their company to climate neutrality without fumbling in the dark. Our solution begins by conducting customers through a personalized onboarding process before leading them onto the Aclymate platform. Here, they experience powerful integrated carbon accounting and they begin to tangibly understand their footprint. They realize how different we are from other carbon calculators built for deep-pocketed, large corporate sustainability departments. Instead, we provide our small business customers with the expert guidance, affordable accounting, and personal service that they need. We help them to identify where their emissions are coming from and the behaviors causing it. We lead them into emissions reductions. But navigating climate action is more than carbon accounting, and for most of our customers, the next milestone is buying carbon offsets. Our marketplace has an industry-leading selection of offsets from reputable registries with embedded proof of verification from third-party auditors. However, our customers have told us that they need help in making deeper emissions reductions, such as through community solar programs and employee commuting incentives. So our marketplace will expand to include these climate solutions from our growing network of partners. Partners who will create revenue acceleration for Aclymate as our success becomes theirs. This will accelerate our impact too. We'll help our customers prevent or sequester 500,000 tons of carbon, which will have secondary effects in water, habitat, and urban and rural development. Our beachhead of impact-focused companies are passionate about what we've created. One of our earliest, Kristen, was able to save the $4,000 she would have spent on a consultant and put it to work in offsetting her company's emissions with us. Her small business gets better data and better marketing, and she looks good to her boss and her coworkers. And Kristen is just one of many who continue to fix their footprint with Aclymate because they love the product we built on a shoestring better than what our competitors built with millions. The final part of the customer journey is when they can demonstrate action to their employees, their customers, and their communities through marketing and branding. To empower them to tell that story, we built an escalating certification standard like LEED that lets our customers show that they're doing the work that their stakeholders demand. And that demand, it's huge. International regulatory concerns, when coupled with the United States needing to achieve its modest commitments, will drive over 1 million small and medium-sized businesses to start fixing their footprint in the next 3 years. If your company is one of them, please join us. Our team is going to be there to show you the way. We know what it's like to start a voyage with an unknown ending. We know how to navigate when things are moving fast. And we know that we're going to stick the landing. Thank you.
Joining us from Vienna, Austria, please welcome Kami, CEO of Elio.
Hi, my name is Kami, CEO and co-founder at Elio. We create actionable climate intelligence. I was just at COP26, the UN Climate Conference, as a youth delegate for Austria. Climate solutions are a 10,000-piece puzzle in 3 dimensions, with everyone at the conference bringing their unique piece. When the jigsaw pieces fit together, it's beautiful, but our current puzzle-solving strategy is too slow, relying too heavily on finding the right data among noise, on annual conferences, eureka moments, and serendipity. Over $30 billion are spent on climate change research and innovation annually, but the data become loose puzzle pieces, never reaching the table of decision makers. With a decade of our carbon budget left, we can't afford ill-informed decisions anymore. Elio is a puzzle master that will pick up the jigsaw pieces of data directly from researchers, weave them together in one place, and provide decision makers with a clear understanding of the larger scientific landscape. This way, scientists, analysts, and policymakers can get constant, reliable feedback on how to best allocate human and financial capital to optimize climate innovation. It's a $139 billion market growing at nearly 20% a year, where every lost second, every lost puzzle piece is lost innovation. To tackle this, Elio has a 3-pronged solution. A free tool that makes it a breeze for researchers to document their work for publishing requirements and supply their data promptly to Elio. A researcher at MIT would use it to complete her analysis on coral reef conservation, uploading her data and methodology to a central platform that organizes and adds meaningful context to research data. Finally, an analytical engine built on a knowledge graph, turns that data into actionable insights on how climate solutions map to an organization's problems and opportunities. A consultant at McKinsey, who's advising the Australian government on how to conserve local coral reefs, was used that data along with its connections to drive her recommendations. Our revenue will come from annual subscription fees, initially from think tanks and consultancies, with R&D dependent companies and governments following, for access to our one-of-a-kind intelligence on climate solutions. We've already raised a successful pre-seed round and have secured strong interest in paid pilots from the Nature Conservancy and a publicly traded international consulting firm, with others following suit. Our team is uniquely positioned to succeed. From my personal connections pursuing medical research at Harvard and MIT to my direct conversations with climate decision makers, such as the Vice Chair of the UN IPCC and the Austrian Minister for Climate Action, we've been building a highly engaged community of scientists, analysts, and policymakers who are eager to test our platform. Beyond my scientific background, I am deeply embedded in the space, starting early with a TEDx talk at age 12. Camille, our CTO, has exited 2 startups, one of which he founded in big data and machine learning. Supporting us, we have a BD lead with 6 years in strategy consulting and an advisor who built a similar software for Hollywood. With Elio's supercharged network of climate research data and connections, mass collaboration on climate can happen almost always, anywhere, anytime in the world.
Joining us from Barcelona, Spain, please welcome Chinmay, CEO of Influunt.
Hi, I'm Chinmay, the CEO of Influunt. This is Surat, my hometown in India. Growing up, I saw floods disrupting my father's business multiple times. Unfortunately, this is not just limited to India. In the US alone, businesses lose $40 billion due to floods every year. Worse, this flooding damage is expected to double in the next 30 years because of climate change. Floods at a retail location can destroy product, can cause supply chain disruption, and can lead to revenue loss because of store closure. A retail business with 1,000 stores, the best option they have today is to pay $3,000 per site to a consultant for a site visit and a report. That is $3 million a year. And even if you have all those reports, you still don't know where to start, what to do, and when to do it. That is a lot of guesswork. This is where Influunt comes in. We take the guesswork out and allow our customers to deploy their resources effectively by helping them choose specific sites, choose specific mitigation actions, and timeline to implement those mitigation actions. Our customers share their asset locations and related information with us. We combine this data with geospatial data, climate models, and topographic data to calculate flood risk score for the entire portfolio and provide site-specific information to help them choose specific sites to focus on. From here, we suggest site-specific mitigation strategies such as developing alternate locations, installing stormwater pump systems, or buying flood bags. We We also allow our customers to understand timeline to implement these mitigation strategies. We have a passionate team to tackle this climate challenge. I am an aerospace engineer, and I have been building machine learning products for climate tech startups for the last 7 years. Michael has a PhD in computer science with research in dynamical systems and risk analytics. Lloyd, our lead data scientist, is an expert in applying machine learning to geospatial data and remote sensing data. In just the last 6 months, we have built our first risk assessment model, and now we are in discussion with a large retail company for a pilot to assess flood risk to their more than 30,000 locations. I believe that nearly every climate risk is about water. Either too much water in places or too little water in some other places. This is why we want to go beyond floods and soon expand into drought and water stress risk as well. Our mission is to use data and analytics to deploy our resources effectively to create safer and prosperous future. Join us in creating a water intelligent future. Thank you.
Joining us from South Africa, please welcome Anele, CEO of Igugu Global.
Africa has a $1.5 trillion gap in sustainable infrastructure, from renewable energy to housing and nature-based solutions. To protect 500 million lives under the age of 15, the world's fastest growing cities, and the highest point of leverage for large mammals. My name is Anele Mapaza, and I'm the founder of Igugu Global, a technology company making it incredibly easy to search, structure, and finance a sustainable transition. I was the market maker for Barclays Seychelles when, together with the Nature Conservancy, we structured what would become the world's first blue bond to protect an area of the ocean the size of France. What we were doing was the first of its kind and not without risk. But part of the job as a market maker is discovering what price people place on risk and finding someone on the other side to say, yes, that's worth it. The challenge with financing for climate and green finance in general is understanding the sustainability characteristics of companies. That's why we created Igugu Global, to provide intelligence and drive change, one country, one company, and one project at a time. Igugu means treasure. We leverage climate disclosures and sustainability data to showcase a diverse selection of companies and projects to prospective investors and banks, helping them assess a deal's viability, determine the risk appetite, and get the deal closed. Our platform is the disclosure marketplace for all green finance instruments issued to date in Africa. You can find and compare projects, access the verification reports, or search and benchmark over 2,000 company profiles, identifying their sustainable risks across 10 countries, saving the targets to your portfolio. We've made great traction since starting in Nigeria, where our first project included West Africa's longest sea resilience wall. We were able to structure this project as a green loan that now trades on a major European market. We've since added more than 2,000 company profiles and created a pipeline of more than $1 billion. What makes us different from our competition is that while they are focused on the world's 10,000, we're growing the market with a deep focus on Africa's 10,000. Our business model is simple. A simple subscription fee for investors and a success fee for project developers coming to market. I've spent more than 10 years managing risk and creating the connections that move markets from South Africa to Tanzania, Ghana, and Nigeria. Our small team brings together a diverse expertise, and we're meeting the climate moment where the market is. Because investing in infrastructure is about so much more than preventing future climate damage. For us, it's an opportunity to lift people out of poverty and create the jobs that reduce inequality, connecting companies and communities. And that's why We want you to search and find treasure with Igugu Global.
Joining us from Boulder, Colorado, please welcome Saif, CEO of Renoster Systems.
Hello, my name is Saif Bashki, the CEO and founder of Renoster. We use remote sensors to deliver precise, real-time green project monitoring. Imagine you're driving a vehicle and the instrument panel goes out. You have no idea how fast you're going, how much gas you have left, or if there are any issues with the engine. It makes you realize how important this feedback is. Unfortunately, fund managers of green or sustainable projects are in the same situation, except they are driving $300 billion of investment vehicles with no clear feedback on performance. Not only that, but they have a backseat full of ESG investors demanding to know answers to questions like, are we there yet? However, without knowing where they're going, fund managers can't accurately answer that question, and well-meaning green projects don't accomplish their goals. They currently rely on outdated processes like sending a person to the field with a clipboard once a year. This process is costly and only produces expensive reports that are lagging, fragmented, and often paint a rose-colored view into the investment impact. What they need is an instrument panel. Enter Renoster. We give fund managers a streamlined platform where they can measure, track, and report clear sustainability metrics. And we do this by combining 3 ingredients: off-the-shelf hardware, proprietary ML models, and the latest advances in the field of climate science. We collect air, soil, and water data to better understand the on-the-ground reality during these projects. This helps to identify key performance indicators and then track them during the duration of projects. With Renoster's intelligence, fund managers finally get transparency across their entire portfolio. Let's take forestry as one example. We can track soil aridity, which is the main indicator of tree growth. If soil and moisture levels are trending in the wrong direction for too long, the manager receives an action item to follow up with project operators and adjust their approach. Renoster shortens these feedback loops, so fund managers can ensure that their investment is on track to hit its sustainability goals. Within their dashboard, fund managers get access to trends over time, where we've automated the vast majority of their reporting, saving them money. Now, at the year-end review, their backseat ESG investors are so impressed with the demonstrated impact per dollar and portfolio ROI that they decide to up their investment. Beyond forestry, our project roadmap includes sustainable agriculture, stormwater management, and clean infrastructure projects. As Renoster scales, our fund managers benefit from our flywheel of better predictions coming from ML models that are constantly refined by more data and improved science. We improve fund returns and enable follow-on investment. Renoster is a data company. We work as a hardware-enabled SaaS model with a monthly subscription charged to fund managers, similar to a Bloomberg terminal. We also offer a range of pricing levels for projects that require an additional level of operational insight. We'll also be working on Renew West on the largest carbon-focused reforestation project in U.S. history. Next spring, we'll monitor tree health across more than 2 million trees, shortening feedback loops and cutting the time needed to verify forestry outcomes and deliver on sustainability goals. We've also received strong interest in pilots from fund managers across the green and sustainability sector. Our team brings a wealth of experience across data science and IoT. I've worked in the environmental reporting world for the past 7 years, including on-the-ground deployments in the African bush, and I'm joined by experts in forestry and green projects from across the spectrum of academia and industry. Renoster increases portfolio value for fund managers and helps them achieve their sustainability objectives. Join us in taking the air quotes out of green projects. Thank you.
Today, you've heard from the companies that are changing the future of tomorrow. If you'd like to get in touch with these companies, please note their information in the description section below.
And thank you to our sponsors. A big thank you to the Grantham Foundation, LH Capital, S2G Ventures, and Somo Labs for supporting this program over the past 4 years. This program would not have been possible without your support and leadership in the climate space. And also, a special thank you to our global network partners for supporting the companies with their technologies and expertise.
To the Nature Conservancy staff members who've given so much to this program, thank you. And of course, to our program team, Maki, Allison, Abe, thank you so much for delivering a program worthy of our participants.
We would also like to thank the family and friends, the mentors, the entrepreneurs and residents, and the coaches for their unending support of the entrepreneurs and the program.
And last but not least, thank you, founders, for dedicating your life to building a better world. You've journeyed from far and wide, across the world to come to Boulder for a month, leaving behind partners, families, and teams before transitioning to a virtual whirlwind of Zoom meetings and pitch practices. You showed up for hundreds of meetings, set ambitious goals, and push yourselves every single week. all while running your companies, your lives, and making time to show up and support one another. Thank you for being part of this program.
We can all play a part in tackling climate change and protecting nature. Now is the time to leverage technology to solve problems that matter. Thank you for joining us for the Techstars Sustainability in partnership with the Nature Conservancy 2021 Demo Day.